Hi everyone, in this video we are going to be going over how to use our Gantt chart spreadsheet for Google Sheets. If you would like to get a copy of this spreadsheet, I will include a link in the description box below. We have both an 8 project version and an 100 project version, so you can select the one that works best for you. And again, I'll leave it linked in the description box below for you to check it out.
Hi, this is Leah from Palm and Grace. This video is a comprehensive tutorial on how to use the spreadsheet and all of its features. The very first tab is the Start tab. This tab is extremely important to set everything up. Now, there are a couple of main sections that you need to edit on this tab. The first thing you want to do is edit the week start date. So you can select this dropdown and select Sunday or Monday. For me, my week start on Sunday. This section right here are color keys for the Gantt chart tabs. You don't need to edit anything here. In the workdays section, you're going to check off the days that you consider work days. So for example, my work days include Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And as you can see, it's just taking a couple seconds to update. If you work, say, on Saturday, then you'll also want to check that off. Or if you don't work, for example, on Fridays, then you'll want to uncheck that box. Many of the calculations on the Gantt chart will update based on the days that you select as work days. In this section right here, you can add in any special dates that are holidays or specific days off. These will also be included in some of the calculations on the Gantt chart. I'm not going to add anything here now, but I'll come back to this later and show you how it works. The next tab is the Calendars tab. And this tab is just a simple tab with calendars to show you each month of any given year. So for example, you can go into this box up here and type in any year. And once you do that, the calendars will all update. If it's a current year, you can scroll down and find the current date highlighted in the chart. These calendars should also update based on which starting day you selected in the Start tab. The next tab is the Formulas tab. I'm going to come back to this tab in a little bit, but it is important just to note that this tab is here. Moving on, you'll see that there are two Gantt chart tabs. There's Gantt chart and there's blank Gantt chart with a locked symbol next to it. The purpose of this locked tab is specifically to make blank copies of the tab. As you can see, if you try to edit anything in this tab, you'll see a warning, which you can just click cancel if you happen to do that. This way, if you'd like to reuse the Gantt chart tab at any point, you can just simply go right click on it and click duplicate, and then rename the tab, and you'll have a fresh copy of the Gantt chart. When you go onto the Gantt chart tab, this is what it will look like. The very first thing that you're going to want to do is select a start week. To do this, double click this white box and select any date from the starting week that you would like to have. So for example, if I would like to start my view on the last week, I would click on any date from last week. And once you do that, you can see that everything updates here. You'll see the weeks, the dates, you'll see the current date highlighted here, and a little line down so you're able to tell which day is the current date. And you can see up to 14 weeks. At any point, you can easily change the week that you are starting with just by clicking and selecting a new date. Now, as you can see on this tab, there are 8 different projects that you can add. You can open and close projects easily by clicking and collapsing the plus signs on the side. You may notice that some columns are darker than others, mainly the total duration, the work days, the total days left, and the work days left columns. These columns should not be edited. They contain formulas for automatic calculations. I'll explain what these columns mean shortly. So let's start adding in some tasks. The very first thing you can do is add in a project name. To do this, double click the cell and add in the project name here. After you do that, you can add in start and end dates for that specific project. It's up to you if you want to do this. So for example, we can say that this project starts on the 14th and ends on the 28th. As you can see, once I do that, numbers appear here automatically and the dates that I selected are highlighted over here. So when you collapse the project, you can still see the dates that the project is running. Now let's start adding in some tasks. The first thing you can do is add in task names here. Then you can select a priority from the drop-down. In the next column, you can add in any names. Then you can add in the start dates and the end dates. As you can see, when the dates are added in, the numbers update automatically here. You can also see that the dates for each task are added in over here in gray. You can easily change the colors for each of the tasks by selecting the drop-down and selecting the color you'd like to change it to. If you need any sort of reference on what those colors look like, you can go back to the Start tab and look at the color key. The next thing you can do in the percent column is add in a percent that shows how completed the task is. You can add in any percent here. And as you can see, progress charts will automatically update here. You can easily go back in and change these as needed. And again, if you happen to change the starting dates, all of the things will update automatically. So you can see that I started it a week earlier, and so everything just shifts a bit to the right. And this light blue line right here shows you the current day. Now let's say, for example, that you filled up all your tasks and you want to add in more tasks. This is super easy. Right-click any of the cells in the project and select Insert One Row Above. It will then look like this. Here you can then add in all the information and everything will update accordingly. Now I'm going to explain what these columns here mean. The total duration is the number of days between the start date and the due date mentioned. So for example, for this first task, you can see that there are 9 days. The total work days is the number of work days, which is specified by the days that you checked off in the Start tab, that are on or between the start date and the due date included. So for example, for this first task, you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total work days. In this week area, work days are shown by the lighter orange color and non-work days are shown by the darker orange color. So for example, if I were to uncheck Friday, meaning that it would not be a work day, then on the Gantt chart, Friday would then be shown as a non-work day, and the numbers here would update accordingly. The total days left is a count of how many total days are until the due date. So for example, you can see that there is 1 day left until the first task is due, and there are 3 days left until task number 3 is due. The work days left is a count of the number of days that you have selected as work days until the task is due. So as you can see in the first one, there's 1 work day left and there are 3 work days left here. If I were to change the end date to be on, for example, the following Monday, you would see that there are only 1, 2, 3, 4 work days left, since Saturday and Sunday would not be included. If you have any questions on this, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you. Once your tasks are complete, you can also check them off over here like so. That way you can easily see which tasks are not yet complete. Going back to the Start tab, I want to show you what happens if you include any special days or holidays. So for example, if I were to say that March 20th is a day off, which you can easily do by just double-clicking any of the gray cells and selecting a date. In the Gantt Chart tab, those days will now be shown as a darker orange. So now you can see for the first one that there are no days left since the Wednesday is a non-work day. It's a day off. And you can also see, for example, in task 3 that there are only now 1, 2, 3 work days left. So the counts will update automatically. Lastly, I want to go back to the Formulas tab. But before I do that, I want to explain what that tab is for. As you can see, we've manually inputted the completion percentages here. However, there is a way to automate that if that's what you're looking for. That's what the formulas in this tab are for. Now we give you 2 options. In Formula 1, it will show you the completion based on the total days, and Formula 2 will show you the completion based on the work days. So to simplify it, Formula 1 will count weekends and days off, and Formula 2 will not. So you can select which one you prefer. So we give you instructions. If you want to add in a formula, the very first thing you want to do is make sure that anything in column M is empty. Then you're going to go back to the formulas and select the formula that you would like to use. So for example, I'm going to use Formula 1. To do this, you're going to double click the cell and copy the formula. To do that, I copy the text and click Command-C, or you can click Control-C on your keyboard. Then go back to the Gantt Chart tab, and you're going to select this very first cell under the percentage sign. This is cell M8, as you can see in this corner. To add in the formula, click the formula bar and do Control-V or Command-V to paste, just like that. And then you can click enter. And as you can see, once you do that, the numbers will automatically update and the progression charts will automatically appear as well. We do not include progress bars in the blue areas. And that is how to use our Gantt chart spreadsheet. As you can see, it is a very comprehensive spreadsheet with a lot of different things included. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We tried to make the spreadsheet as functional and valuable as possible.